want to talk to you about stropping by hand. What's that all about? Well, stropping is a way in which you maintain that sharp edge on your carving tools. So you've got the tools sharp using your stones and so on, and then you maintain the edge by stropping it regularly. So when you look at a carving tool like this one, it has two bevels, an outside one and an inside one. So you need two sorts of strops, ones that will deal with the outside bevel, which are bench strops, and ones that will deal with the inside bevel, and those are called slip strops. So let me show you here this very old bench strop. Well, I say it's very old, but this is the first one I had. I made it about 35 years ago. It's leather on a piece of wood, and the leather itself is impregnated with some abrasive. It has a cover which you can use to keep the dust and the shavings and bits like that out of the strop itself when you're using it. It lives on the bench. So let's talk a little bit about making one of these. The important thing is that the bench strop needs to be really hard. It doesn't want to be soft. So you'd use a bit of plywood, something very flat like that, stable, and you glue on some thin or very hard leather onto it. This sort of leather, for example, here, is quite soft, and what will happen if you use soft leather like this is that as the bevel goes across it, the bevel itself sort of rounds in the leather, and that raises a cutting angle. So you want to keep this as hard as possible. So that sort of leather wouldn't be suitable for a bench strop. This sort of leather, which is easily found in thrift shops from old handbags, this sort of thing, very thin, and you can glue that. That's perfect to go on the surface. This has got a leather that's on it already, and I'm going to show you how I dress that with abrasive later. So when it comes to the slip strops, there are two sorts of strops here. One like this, which is a shaped piece of wood that fits the inside of the inner sweep of the carving tool, and that has thin leather glued all over it. Notice the size of this. It gives you enough so that you can put abrasive on the working part and keep your fingers clear both of the tool and the rather greasy abrasive. So you can make this sort of series of strops like this. Here's one for a V-tool. Here's a thin piece of leather, very, very hard leather, and I'm using the edge like here as an abrasive slip strop. So a good bit of hard, tough leather like that is also very useful. The second sort of slip strop is one like this. It's made of flexible leather, and this is where that flexible leather comes in to its own. And what that leather does is deform inside larger tools. So it's really good for bigger tools and for flatter tools and this sort of thing. So it's a multiple sort of shape as it defects. So that's a very useful one to make as well. So there are bench strops and slip strops, and in the next lesson I'm going to show you how to make the abrasive and apply it to the leather.